So there was another I don't know if it was a mistake or disaster that you had. Like you said, you forgot to add in your mite or your malt pipe. Like, well, what happened that day? Were you just in a hurry, or?
I just wasn't thinking. I was
Oh,
relaxed.
okay.
I was actually brewing the Centennial Blonde, the Beer Muncher Centennial
Hmm.
Blonde. So thankfully, it wasn't a hefty grain bill. It was like less than 10 pounds. But I got in there and I realized as soon as I did it, I
Hmm.
could see the numbers on the unit, the gallon markers. I just did that. So I ended up putting the unit, picking it up and draining all the wort into buckets and getting my grains out of there, and then just re-getting it, got everything ready again. But yeah, it's just a matter of time before it happened to me. And I had a good 7 year streak, nothing, boom, just out of nowhere.
Hmm. See, that's what I hear about, like infections in beers. Like you get to a point where you've done stuff so much that you start to get relaxed, and then you forget to sanitize one time. Like your fermenting bucket, and it's just you have baby diaper a beer
Mm.
basically. There's no hot garbage, whatever, right? So I am super anal. I'm like I start my sanitizing my bucket right when I start heating up my water. Already, it's just because like there's so much downtime, right? So I pick it up and shake it. I walk by, pick it up and shake it again. So I'm like throughout the time, like I shaked it probably at least 15 minutes throughout the whole the whole brew day instead of like the 45 seconds or whatever contact or 60 seconds it needs to actually work.
So are you
So
using Star Sand for your
yeah,
sanitizer?
I am, yeah.
So do you reuse it or do you just dump it when you're done?
So I make a 5 gallon bucket of it, and that way I can make it last. I think it was a philosophy. I think it's good for almost a month at a time. I think if I remember correctly, something like that. So I let it sit for the least couple weeks to 3 weeks, so I can still reuse it on other projects. Plus, I don't brew a whole lot either, so there's that as well. So I do let it sit around for a while. But yeah, so like after I like so if, cause I usually pour like probably about a half gallon into my fermenting bucket. That way I can actually pick it up, kind of shake it around. But that I do just pitch. Like I don't save that; it goes away.
I know this sounds bad, but mine lasts probably 4 months, and it gets
Okay.
heavy use between yeast flask, fermenter,
Yeah.
you name it. It touches everything. I'm very very particular with my sanitizer because if I'm putting that much work in a batch, I don't want to find out that it's ruined
Mm,
after
yeah, because of
fermentation.
that.
And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's very true. It is a very interesting hobby. Like, I think I've said this so far in every podcast, so I must keep up with it. So, we have a cleaning hobby or sanitation hobby that produces alcohol because we spend more time cleaning, washing, sanitizing, storing our equipment than actually brewing the
yep.
stuff. It seems like it's just we do so much like prep and after and post prep work just to make sure because I mean we're making food.
Oh yeah.
Essentially at the end of the day, it's what it is. You don't want to get nobody sick. You don't want to get yourself sick, and you also don't want to. Even if you only spend $20 on a smash beer, you don't want to waste $20 on beer going
No.
bad. So, that's $20 wasted, man. They could go sell something else. So you said you had a 7 year streak. So this question is kind of, I guess, post 7 years. So are you still having little disasters every once in a while, or?
No. I know a lot of people like to drink when they brew. The only thing I'm drinking is like water or coffee for numerous reasons. One of them is I'm getting older, so if I bend weird and get hurt and do something stupid and end up in the ER, I don't want to have to tell them I had this. I want them to be able to treat me and keep me comfortable. But the other part of it is I want to completely focus on what I'm doing because I've spent this so much time developing a recipe. Building up a yeast strain, propping that up. I want to make sure what I'm brewing is going to be what I want to drink at the end of the day. I don't want to
100%.
have an oops because, oh, well, I had this beer